There are those people who will hold the yam and the knife and will give you your share, your fair share. So don't intimidate us. Everybody is going to die. Nobody dies prematurely. So you can't intimidate us with death. Our children already know that we are political leaders. It's not news. Embarrassment is our other name. So don't think that we can be embarrassed by these petty issues. We are going to fight for our people. So I'll leave it at that, then leave it to Mheshimiwa. And lastly, the MPs that you are calling the super majority in parliament, I want to tell you that these MPs already know that the ship is sinking. The ship that Ruto is the captain is already sinking, and they're already taking that. Now we know that you'll be clutching very soon on imaginary straws. I think Mheshimiwa Amo has addressed that very well. If I want to talk about the unity of ODM and Kenya Kwanza and having a super majority, and in combination with the question that was asked by Eric on the broad-based government that has killed the vigor of the demonstrations, I want to tell you that in Parliament there was already a super majority that passed the finance bill. But that did not prevent the Gen Zs. It did not prevent Ruto from coming out and rejecting after pressure had been pressed on him by the people. The Constitution is clear that power vests with the people. The sovereignty is with the people. The people are supreme. That supermajority in Parliament is not a supermajority. It is an imaginary supermajority that is intended to achieve some selfish gains or ambitions. And therefore, one person with God is the majority. But now here we have a few people in Parliament, members of Parliament, Team Ground, together with the Gen Zs, with the millennials, with other Kenyans. That is even more than a super majority. And that is what we need. We don't need any other supermajority in Parliament. And number two, our voices will always be heard in Parliament, irrespective of our numbers. Why? Because sometimes it's not about winning the war, but it is about being at the battlefield, registering your presence in the battlefield. Our presence will always be registered, irrespective of our numbers. And that is the time that you will know that in case those numbers will not be favoring the interest of Kenyans in Parliament, we will go back on the ground. Gen Zs can always come out together with millennials and still make it right. That supermajority, if you saw the way they were running under the tunnel, then you would have known that there was no majority there. There was the minority. So the next question is about Jimmy Wanjigi. Of course, you talked about Ruto invading Jimmy Wanjigi's privacy. I want to just quote Ruto when he used to say, to paraphrase, he used to ask the former President Uhuru Kenyatta to spare his family, not to kill his children, to spare his children and his family. What is he doing? He's now gone below the belt. He's now targeting people's families. And we want to tell you, you also have families, yeah, my friend. Good. Just the same way Moi is now a former president. Kenyatta is a former president. Moi is a former president. Kibaki is a former president. Uhuru is a former president. You are going to be a former president. These children of yours are going nowhere. So do not intimidate people's children. Because when your time reaches, there are those people who will hold the yam and the knife and will give you your share, your fair share. So don't intimidate us. Everybody is going to die. Nobody dies prematurely. So you can't intimidate us with death. Our children already know that we are political leaders. It's not news. Embarrassment is our other name. So don't think that we can be embarrassed by these petty issues. We are going to fight for our people. So I'll leave it at that, then leave it to Mheshimiwa. And lastly, the MPs that you are calling the super majority in Parliament, I want to tell you that these MPs already know that the ship is sinking. The ship that Ruto is the captain is already sinking, and they're already taking that now we know that you will be clutching very soon on imaginary straws and you will sink with that ship. Thank you.
Thank you. It looks like the questions have been answered.
The number one for the petition
there's
to
one
dissolve Parliament.
Oh, there's one for the petition to dissolve Parliament. And that is a proposal, you said, by the Gen Z? Very well. First of all, I want to thank the young people of Kenya. One day, one time, we were also very young. And we did what we did to have this country the way it is today. Some of us actively engaged to make or to constitute the current Kenyan constitution. And we went through the thick of that day. That is why we have this constitution. The young people of Kenya should not shy away from advocating for what they think is right. The young people should not feel guilty for being on the road to present petitions to Parliament, because that is their right as enshrined in the Article 31 of the Kenyan Constitution. The right to present public petitions to public authorities. It is their right. And therefore they should not feel guilty, however painful it is, however hard it is, however difficult it becomes. The young people of Kenya should now know that they have the support of members of Parliament like ourselves here. We are no longer going to be intimidated, being accused of, oh, you are funding the Gen Zs, oh, you are inciting the Gen Zs, oh, you are the one who is telling the Gen Zs to do this, because the Gen Zs are people who are schooled. They went to school and we actually gave them free primary education. They are using what we gave them to ask and petition for what they constitutionally deserve. So the young people of Kenya have a right to petition Parliament, have a right to petition State House, have a right to petition any public authority if they feel that it is necessary to do so. I honestly think that the kitchen of all problems in this country is Kenyan Parliament. Because it is Kenyan Parliament that make laws that are oppressive. It is Kenyan Parliament that made the faulty, the unconstitutional, the irregular Finance Bill 2023 that has since now been thrown out by the courts. It is the same Parliament that was attempting to make another irregular, unconstitutional Finance Bill 2024, which the greatest people of Kenya rejected. It is the same Parliament that is coming up with other laws like the livestock bill law, the privatization law that they made, and many other very oppressive laws. So if the Gen Zs feel that it is time for them to petition Parliament, they are welcome. It is within their rights. And we will support them if we so feel they are doing the right thing. So we want to tell the young people of Kenya, we are with you. We will support you. We will stand with you, as long as you're making the future of this country better. I would want to be an elderly woman in this country to enjoy what the Gen Zs are fighting today. And therefore, when I have the energy to do so, I will support them, I will fight for them, I will lobby for them, I will advocate for them, because I think they are doing the right thing. Last but not least, I would want to say this. I don't know what is this obsession President Ruto has with new things. When he came in, he found Linda Mama. He realized Linda Mama, and I don't know how he realized, because he's not a woman. He has never been in a maternity ward. He has never delivered a child. So I don't know what is this obsession he has with removing what he found to bringing what he thinks is new and creating confusion and mess. He found a very good working program called Linda Mama. He collapsed Linda Mama without any public